Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm China Green. We'll get to your weather and traffic in just a minute, but first we want to get to breaking news right now. Thomas Schultz is live on the scene of a fire in Northeast Portland. Thomas, what are you seeing out there?
Hey, China, we just spoke to Rick Raves, the spokesperson for Portland Fire and Rescue. As you can see, firefighters behind us continuing to respond to this fire here on Northeast Garfield. He tells us that somebody has been taken to the hospital, and unfortunately, this might be a case where somebody has died as a result of this fire. It's still having tests run at the hospital, seeing if that person does make it. But he said, as of right now, things do not look good for that person. Here's what we do know, according to Rick Graves. He says that neighbors actually saw smoke smoldering from this home. He believes that a fire was burning inside for quite some time. Once firefighters arrived on scene, he says that they did not detect any smoke detectors actually working. There was a lot of smoke in the house as well before they found that person on the second floor. Of course, then taking them to the hospital where their condition is unknown. But again, Rick Graves saying it does not look good. You can see here on scene, this is on Northeast Highland and Garfield, still a lot of fire crew presence. They're beginning to wrap up as that fire has been extinguished. Police are also here, and that investigation into what started this fire is now just getting underway. Rick Graves also telling us there was only the one person in this home. He says when firefighters responded on scene, there was a lot of clutter as well, which made it a little bit more challenging to fight this fire. His biggest takeaway here for people in the community is just to make sure smoke detectors are working, because in this case, once again, he says that was not the case, which could have played a role in the situation that this person found themselves in. China.
Our Thomas Schultz reporting live. Thank you, Thomas. All right, let's head over to Rod Hill now for a look at your weather.
Good morning. We do have a nice morning out there overall. We're completely dry, and depending on where you are, it's either mostly cloudy or partly cloudy. Most areas, at least, are seeing some breaks in the cloud cover. Salem's been pretty bright this morning. Capital at the bottom of your screen, and there's a really pretty January morning. 40 is the temperature, so obviously well above freezing. And you can see the rising sun now looking off to the east from the springs at the waterfront camera in Vancouver. Glassy Columbia Waters. Looks like traffic's moving pretty good on the Interstate Bridge. From what I can see, 42 is the temperature outside. Moving forward, we'll hit 50. I have us getting up as warm as about 53 this afternoon. Here's Chris McGinnis.
It's comfortable for early January. All right, let's get you out the door with a live look at the roads. There's Highway 26 at the Sylvan Hill. Slow and steady coming in from 217, I-205 over the Abernathy Bridge. That's a live look, by the way, near Highway 43. So where it bunches up into two lanes. That's kind of an always thing, right? This hour of a Monday morning commute, and your drive elsewhere on the freeway system building as well. 24 minutes now, I-84. That's the drive in from Troutdale. And last but not least, your trip through North Portland. It's not bad on the Clark County side of the Interstate Bridge, but you hit a wall right around the Expo Center. 22 minutes right now. Gets you in from Main Street South to I-405. China.
Thank you, Chris. Just into our newsroom this morning, one of the two people shot by Border Patrol agents in Portland last week is now in custody at the Multnomah County Jail. Jail records showed Luis Nino Mercado was booked yesterday afternoon, arrested by Portland FBI. Marshals are set to pick him up this morning at 8:30 for a court appearance, the jail says. So far, no word on whether the woman shot by Border Patrol, Yorlenis Zambrano Contreras, has been arrested. And in the wake of the shooting, state Republicans say that they are alarmed by the rhetoric that they've seen from elected leaders. They held a press conference this morning to share their thoughts on the incident. Jake Holter has a story from Salem.
The overarching message from some state Republicans today is that they want to see the temperature turned down when it comes to federal law enforcement, and say that Democratic leadership is doing more harm than good with their reactions.
It is deeply irresponsible for elected officials to politicize an active investigation.
House Minority Leader Lucetta Elmer, joined by a handful of her colleagues, delivered a Republican response to the Border Patrol shooting in Portland last week.
What Oregonians saw over the last 72 hours was not restraint. They saw immediate conclusions, inflammatory rhetoric, and public statements made before all the facts were known.
Senate Minority Leader Bruce Starr says this wasn't a random interaction.
According to federal authorities, the incident involved a targeted law enforcement operation focused on individuals connected to a violent transnational criminal organization.
This unlike the situation in Minneapolis, but the timing made for enhanced emotions. On Saturday, Democratic Congresswoman Maxine Dexter said she wanted to take action against DHS, including by drafting articles of impeachment against Secretary Kristi Noem.
We also are trying to form a coalition of congressional members who are willing to withhold appropriations for the Department of Homeland Security.
State Representative Alex Scarlato says rhetoric like this makes things worse.
The temperature might have been significantly higher because of what happened in Minneapolis, but these are elected leaders statewide. These aren't just random people that are giving these press conferences. They're raising the temperature at the worst possible time after what happened in Minneapolis. It should be more of a reason for them to take pause and let the facts come out instead of just jumping on the bandwagon of throwing law enforcement under the bus.
State Representative Jeff Helfrich says his time with the Portland Police Bureau informs his opinion on this.
Being a frontline officer or a supervisor there, every time politicians came in and raised the rhetoric up and talked about it, that caused the problems.
Jake Holter, KGW News.
We're hearing from attorneys with Innovation Law Lab after they asked a federal court to stop ICE agents from making arrests in Oregon without a warrant. Since October, attorneys say ICE has launched operations across the state, leading to an almost 8,000% spike in immigration arrests since 2024. Immigration attorneys say ICE is targeting areas with high Latino populations and arresting people without warrants.
The law requires ICE to have probable cause before detaining someone and taking away their liberty. And in the context of the statute, that also requires a warrant. That's an appropriate check on the power that they're exercising to take people's liberty. And we're seeing this really rampantly, especially with the increased enforcement activity since October.
Among the plaintiffs is Victor Cruz, who lives in Hillsborough. ICE agents arrested Cruz despite him having a work authorization and pending visa. His family says that he was arrested in a case of mistaken identity, as federal agents were looking for another man by the same name who did have a criminal history. In Salem, several groups came together to have those who have been affected by the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. On Sunday, the Unitarian Universalist congregation hosted a benefit concert and silent auction. Organizers tell us that several people have reached out wanting to financially support families who may have had a loved one detained or deported recently, as well as businesses who have lost income because they say their customers are staying home out of fear.
There might be no money coming into a family if your main breadwinner just was whisked off to a detention center. So there's a family left wondering what to do. And if they need legal help, they might have legal fees on top of that.
Stay with KGW as we continue to cover the Border Patrol shooting here in Portland, as well as the deadly ICE shooting in Minneapolis. You can watch the latest on our TV streaming app, KGW Plus, and on our website, kgw.com. Headed over Rod Hill for a look at your weather.
Yeah, hi everybody. Nice Monday. We are dry, and if you haven't heard or seen this, the entire 7-day is dry. I'll have the numbers for you coming up in just a moment. Kind of a partly to mostly cloudy start to our day. Here's the Providence Park camera looking out over the West Hills, and you can see a mixed bag of some blue and some cloud cover. Temperatures are pretty pleasant. Nobody's near freezing. We're at 44, in fact, at Providence Park. Here's a look at the Salem tasting room camera. What I call the barn camera out there in the vineyard. Again, partly cloudy skies, not reporting a temperature this morning. It's 43 in Forest Grove, 38 down in Wilsonville, also 38 out in Troutdale. Winds are mainly light this morning, 40 in our capital and 39 is the number down in Albany. This afternoon's weather map, again, all dry. Opening up, increasing sunshine really statewide as you drop down to the south and for the most part even off to the east today. Bend, 56, mostly sunny becoming. LeGrand, 45, should see a lot of sun as well. 57 in Tillamook, thick cloud cover might hold up around Astoria and parts of Cowlitz County. Portland 70, here's that dry graphic. 53 today and tomorrow. Wednesday, our futurecast models like low clouds and fog in the morning that could be stubborn to clear. So that might be the day that doesn't get a lot of sun. And if so, maybe we don't make it to 50. But after that, it's 54, 54, 51, 51. So pretty good dry run for the month of January, or bad dry run, however you want to phrase it. Here's Chris.
Well, drivers will probably consider it a good dry run, right? Speaking of drivers, photojournalist reporter Thomas Schultz, photojournalist Eric Patterson making their way northbound on I-5 here, catching that cotton candy cloud structure there off in the distance. A pretty morning out there, and obviously it's dry, so for the most part, our morning commute is rolling along as you might expect. I want to let folks know about this. in Marion County. Overnight, tonight, tomorrow night, and Wednesday night, there is a full closure of I-5, both directions between exits 248 and 252, as ODOT works on that expansion project and also fixing the Battle Creek Bridge. So the detour is fairly straightforward. It's Commercial Street and Kubler Boulevard, but know that overnight tonight, Shina, anyone heading on I-5 through Marion County will be detoured on and off the freeway between exits 248 and 252. Back to you.
Thank you, Chris. The Pacific County Sheriff's Office says they've arrested the fire chief of Ilwaco following an investigation into child sex crimes. Deputies conducted a search warrant Friday at a home in Ocean Park north of Ilwaco following reports of child molestation and rape. After the search, deputies arrested Jeffrey Archer. He's expected to make his first court appearance today. Later this morning at 9:30, the man accused of robbing and stabbing a 77-year-old at a Portland Safeway is set to be indicted. Police say 51-year-old Christopher Woods robbed and stabbed the man on New Year's Day in the restroom of a Safeway near Southeast Powell and 122nd, then took off. He was tracked down by police and arrested about 90 minutes later. The victim was taken to the hospital for serious injuries, but survived. Woods faces first-degree assault and robbery charges. This all comes after he was convicted of another stabbing back in May of 2017. In that incident, he injured a woman on a Max platform near Holiday Park in Northeast Portland. New this morning, a trial gets underway today for the woman whose dogs attacked and killed a 6-year-old boy. This happened at Northeast Portland home in December 2023. The boy's grandmother is friends with Coco Miller, who helped take the child to school every morning. One of those mornings, Miller's 2 dogs attacked the boy. Officers say Miller attempted to stop the attack and was injured. She's charged with 4 felony counts, including criminally negligent homicide.
My mom would absolutely be over the moon.
A Washington woman on her way to becoming a small part of American history. How some old photos are connecting her to the Obama family. Also ahead, flu cases are still on the rise. Why health experts are saying it's the worst season they've seen in decades.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Bob Weir, guitarist, songwriter, and one of the founding members of the Grateful Dead, has died. A statement posted to his official website and social media said that Weir was diagnosed with cancer back in July. And while he beat cancer, he, quote, succumbed to underlying lung issues. Throughout his life, he received multiple honors, including a Kennedy Center honor and on a spot in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He was 78 years old. Long-lost photos connecting the mother of a Washington woman to the Obama family. With the help of our sister station Seattle, she's becoming part of a presidential history. As Eric Wilkinson tells us, the discovery deepens a daughter's connection to her own late mom.
Megan Dasher Watkins always keeps her mom in mind.
Sick mom? Mm-hmm.
Jill Burton Dasher died in 2021.
I miss her, like, so much.
When Megan was planning her mom's memorial, she found a box of photos.
Had no idea what I had, though. No idea. That's the Obama mama.
We first introduced you to Megan in 2023 when she showed us her discovery.
They would have sleepovers and go skiing and camp out.
Pictures of her mom with the mother of President Barack Obama when they were both attending Mercer Island High School in the 1960s. Stanley Ann Dunham, Obama's mom, died when he was just 35 years old. Having just lost her own mother, Megan wanted to somehow get those keepsakes to the Obama family, but didn't know how. So she contacted us.
Almost immediately after the first story aired on the news, I was contacted by the people for the Obama Library.
Now, this letter from the Obama Foundation saying the photos were approved for acquisition. They'll be in the Presidential Museum. Megan's mom, officially a small part of American history.
My mom would absolutely be over the moon.
The move is especially significant to Megan, who shares a sort of unspoken bond with Obama, the loss and love of a mother.
And the thought of my mom being a part of history made my heart sing.
Megan hopes to travel to Chicago this summer for the grand opening of the Obama Center.
Got my fingers crossed. I want to sit next to Oprah.
And tell everyone about the real star, her mom.
Not that they're going to know who she is or even really care, but I do. And that's amazing.
Eric Wilkinson, King 5 News.
Next to Oprah, huh?
It'd be something to see. Go to a presidential museum and see one of your family's
Yeah.
members' photos in the museum.
That's my bloodline up there.
Right?
Yeah, very
All
cool.
right. Here's a look at our Timberline camera. We've got a lenticular cloud popping right over the summit up here. Otherwise, blue skies. The snow's still pretty fresh looking. It was a busy weekend up there, as you can imagine. Folks going up, in many cases, I'm going to assume for the first time, to do some skiing and boarding. A temperature of 39 degrees. Notice it is above freezing. This is not only a dry week coming, but it is a temperature inversion pattern setting up, which means night after night, potentially, temperatures of Timberline will be above freezing. And that's when you really start to get snow melt, when you've got temperatures above freezing both day and night. So we will be losing some of that 40-plus inch base that's sitting on the mountain right now. Cascade forecast today, in fact, 50 degrees at Timberline, potentially, 51 Government Camp, 49 Meadows. Freezing level today is high at 9,000 feet. Winds currently west 5 to 15. Here are the bases that we will be melting off somewhat. 43 Timberline, currently Meadows 44. Ski Bowl's got 26 on their slope, and Bachelor has got 35 on the ground. Here's the weather pattern. These are the clouds, the same flow basically that we had over the weekend that just threw cloudiness our direction. If you think back for Portland, it was more kind of partly sunny on Saturday, more overcast yesterday. We've had some rain in Astoria and up into Long Beach, but that rain chance is now shifting to the north, and a thicker cloud cover will continue pushing up to the north, which eventually will give us increasing sun during the day today and set up kind of a partly sunny to mostly sunny week. You can see the broken mid to high level clouds moving across our state at this hour. Futurecast shows that 4 o'clock this afternoon. Kind of partly cloudy here on the west side, areas of mostly sunny skies. The rain is green. That actually shifts all the way up to the Canadian border as we go into tomorrow morning. And then here we are during the day tomorrow. And then here's Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning, Futurecast loves this low cloud and fog strip up and down the valley into southwest Washington and never breaks it. So if this is overcast all day Wednesday in Salem and Portland, Vancouver and Astoria, then we would probably be in the 40s. After that, it looks like we have reason to believe that we will get back to just sunny skies. Really pretty. This is gorgeous, right? Look at the yellow hues from the rising sun coming down on the Columbia River. The springs at the waterfront camera, 42 degrees the temperature there. There you can see how flat, meaning calm, the Willamette waters are. The Tilcomb Crossing in the south waterfront from the Portland Spirit Landing in downtown. Portland's at 42, Salem's at 40. The Dalles is now down to freezing, and Burns and Baker City are each in the 20s. Forecast numbers for you, 7-day. 53 today and tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny skies. We're watching Wednesday to see if that's the day that we don't get the sun. And then we have sunshine into the weekend. Here's Chris McGinnis.
All right, guess you need the sunglasses the next few days. Not a regular thing in January, I guess, but in any event, here we are, your I-5 drive, slow and steady through North Portland, but actually getting a little bit better. That said, the trip in from Clark County is right around 20 minutes to get you from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Here's a quick look at the Banfield. There you can see the ODOT reader boards. Well, if you could see them, if we zoomed in, they'd say slow, right? Duh. Westbound 84 a little tight coming in from the Hollywood district to the tune of about 24 minutes now to get you in from Troutdale. All right, we've got a couple of overnight traffic alerts to pass along. One in Marion County, the I-5 widening project here through Marion County. Full steam ahead here, and that means overnight closures, both directions of I-5 between exits 248 and 252. The detour is pretty straightforward. It's Kubler Boulevard to Commercial Street. But know that that'll take you some extra time overnight, tonight, tomorrow night, and Wednesday night. Also, later this week, the I-205 Abernathy Bridge between Oregon City and West Lynn. That is a full closure also Friday night and Saturday night. So your detours there will be 99E, Highway 43, and I-5. China?
Thank you, Chris. The Oregon Health Authority is investigating measles cases in the state. When and where health officials say exposure may have happened after the break.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
In a health alert this morning, the Oregon Health Authority is investigating 2 cases of measles in Lynn County. They say more people may have been exposed. So these are the state's first measles cases of the year. Health officials say that those 2 people started developing symptoms January 5th. They spent some time in the emergency departments at Lebanon Community Hospital and Albany General Hospital. So if you were there during those times listed, you may have been exposed, and you should let your healthcare provider know. New information over an assault at a hospital Friday. Police now have a suspect in custody who may have caused an EMT to overdose. It happened sometime before 3 Friday afternoon at Kaiser Permanente Sunnyside Medical Center. The sheriff's office has details on what happened here. So they say it happened to an EMT. One of them was hit with a bag containing white powder, began suffering overdose symptoms, and initially testing shows that the bag could have had controlled substance in it. The suspect, 57-year-old Tracy Davidson, was arrested after returning to the building yesterday morning. No one else has been hurt. Meanwhile, CDC estimates that there have been more than 15 million flu cases this season as hospitalizations and death tolls continue to rise. They say it's the worst season for respiratory illnesses since 1997. Jen Sullivan spoke with experts who say it is only getting worse.
Each night, toys are sanitized as employees at this daycare center in Des Moines, Iowa, try and fight off germs as flu cases in their area surge.
We mop the infant room floor twice every night, once with just warm water and once with a sanitation.
Nicole Scatino-Talley is the director of the Angeli Cristiani Child Development Center. Some of the children here are infants and aren't eligible for the flu vaccine yet. It's recommended for 6 months and older. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says children under the age of 2 are at a particularly high risk of developing serious complications from the flu, which is why employees here are taking extra precautions. But this is a nationwide problem. Flu cases across the country have skyrocketed, topping an estimated 15 million. This map from the CDC shows multiple states experiencing high or very high levels of the flu. Roughly 180,000 people have been hospitalized and 7,400 have died. Most of the cases are from a severe strand of influenza A known as subclade K.
This subclade K, which is a new strain that probably is not included in the current vaccine.
Many healthcare professionals are worried cases will continue to rise.
The flu vaccine absolutely prevents severe illness, prevents hospitalizations.
The CDC estimates 130 million doses of the vaccine have been distributed nationwide this season, but that covers less than 40% of the U.S. population. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
A judge blocked a Trump administration order that would have tightened certain requirements nationwide. How some are saying the move could have disrupted vote-by-mail systems.
President Trump says he's weighing options, including potentially militarily to respond, as Iran has been cracking down violently on anti-government protests. I'm Alice Barr in Washington with the latest details coming up.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Good morning, I'm China Green. A trial gets underway in a half hour for the woman whose dogs attacked and killed a 6-year-old boy. It happened at Northeast Portland home in December 2023. The boy's grandmother is friends with Coco Miller, who helped take the child to school every morning. One of those mornings, Miller's 2 dogs attacked the boy. Officers say Miller attempted to stop the attack and was injured. She's charged with 4 felony counts, including criminally negligent homicide. Headed over to Rod Hill for a look at your weather.
Well, good morning. It kind of depends on where you are. Maybe it's more overcast than anything where you are, or maybe it's actually quite bright with partly cloudy skies. Here's more of an overcast look, looking off to the west over the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club in Loa. 42 is the temperature. Winds are light, well above freezing. Our planner for the day today, we get up to about 50 degrees at noon. Generally, we think we get increasing sunshine. We have a high of 53 and we'll still be setting at around 50 degrees at 5 p.m. 7-day forecast, by the way, is all dry and most days are expected to reach 50 degrees, including into this upcoming weekend.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm China Green. We'll get to your weather and traffic in just a minute, but first we want to get right to breaking news. Thomas Schultz is live on the scene of a fire in Northeast Portland. Thomas, we know that one person was taken to the hospital.
Yeah, one person was taken to the hospital, China, and it doesn't seem like their condition is good. Spokesperson Rick Graves tells us that that person may die as a result of this fire, but it's too early to know. At this point, they have been taken to the hospital, though. I want to show you what we're seeing just in the front yard here. Fire investigators are on scene, and they're pulling out just smoking debris and rubble into the front yard. Some of that is actually still smoking from this fire. They say that they were alerted to a fire here on Northeast Garfield when a neighbor told them that they saw smoke billowing out of the home. Once they arrived on scene, they found that a person was upstairs on the second floor. That person was then taken out and taken to the hospital. Again, it's unclear if they'll make it or not. Though spokesperson for Portland Fire and Rescue, Rick Graves, tells us once they arrived on scene, there were no working smoke detectors. He says that can be a really big problem.
Smoke detectors save lives. It's critical that you check your smoke detectors, place them, make sure they're appropriately working such that you are notified of any sort of increased smoke in the house.
Rick Graves also told us that there was a lot of just things around the house that made it hard for firefighters to get in, also can make it hard for somebody to get out of the house if they are trying to get out when there is a fire. Once again, you can see just that debris and rubble that is now rubble just in the front yard here as fire investigators are just beginning their investigation. A lot of crews have left. This fire has now been extinguished. Fire investigators, firefighters, even police have been going around talking to neighbors, seeing what they know about this, as this investigation is just in the early stages at this point here in Northeast Portland. China.
All right, Thomas Schultz reporting live this morning. Thank you, Thomas. Your time now is 8:32. Headed over to Rod Hill for a look at your weather.
Hi, good morning. Pretty nice start to our day. We're completely dry out there. Most of us have light winds, kind of a broken deck of mid to high level clouds for the most part. This is actually the cloudiest that our Salem sky camera has looked all morning. It's 40 degrees down in Marion County. This is really pretty with the yellow hues down on the Columbia River. This is the springs at the waterfront. Looking off to the east, and there's Mount Hood up in Vancouver. Temperature is similar to Salem at 42 degrees. Our forecast for today. This is day one of a completely dry 7-day forecast. Partly sunny skies coming to generally increasing sunshine. I think 50 degrees at noon, we could be that warm, and then we'll be about 53 degrees for a high, and it's dry all areas. Temperatures in the 40s to about 50 out east, depending on location. Central Oregon, just like the Willamette Valley, 53 in Bend and Madras. Mostly sunny skies coming today. 50s at the coast and reaching 50 or a little bit better, we think, up and down I-5. We had some rain overnight up around Astoria and into Long Beach, but that looks like that rain threat is now pushing up to the north. So here's the dry 7-day. 53 today, tomorrow. Our Futurecast models pick out Wednesday as the one day that could have morning clouds and fog that is stubborn to get out. So if that's the case, and Wednesday turns out to be overcast, we would not make it to 50. After that, though, it looks like no low clouds, just sun and 54 on Thursday and Friday, and yes, all dry into the upcoming weekend as well. Here's Chris McGinnis.
Rod, thanks for that. We pick it up with a traffic alert on the west side, I-405 southbound. Looks like we've got a crash, maybe some injuries involved with this. As you can see, Portland Fire and Rescue there, pardon me, Portland Police and a medical unit there. This is southbound, just past Burnside, near the Highway 26 on-ramp. And so that is really starting to back up the I-405 south commute here across the Fremont Bridge. We'll give you a different perspective looking down there. And you can see, of course, these 3 lanes trying to get over to the west side. So certainly some extra slowing there. The trip out of Clark County So this is a little deceiving. It's not bad on the Vancouver side of the Interstate Bridge, but once you get down to about Columbia Boulevard, it's kind of slow. 19 minutes right now, the drive in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. China?
Thank you, Chris. In world headlines this morning, President Donald Trump says he's considering a possible U.S. response in Iran as the country cracks down on protesters. NBC's Alice Barr brings us the latest from Washington, D.C.
Amid a deadly crackdown against anti-government protesters in Iran that human rights groups say has killed more than 500 people, President Trump overnight confirming he's weighing options for potential U.S. intervention and saying that Iran called to negotiate.
We may meet with them. I mean, a meeting is being set up, but we may have to act because of what's happening before the meeting.
3 U.S. officials tell NBC News preliminary plans the president has been presented with range from potential strikes to other non-military action. Notably, the Pentagon has not yet moved major assets to the region to support possible military action. Iran is now warning that U.S. and Israeli military bases in the region could be considered legitimate targets if the U.S. launches a strike, and adding their response may not be limited to reacting after an attack.
If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before. And they won't even believe it. I have options that are so strong.
Some Republican lawmakers urging President Trump to act,
embolden the protesters and scare the hell out of the regime,
while others warn of the risks of potential military action.
Sometimes it has the opposite effect. So when you bomb a country, then people tend to rally around their own flag.
The protests in Iran, initially touched off by an economic crisis, have evolved into one of the biggest challenges the regime has ever faced. Over the weekend, demonstrators in Los Angeles marching in solidarity were struck by a U-Haul truck. The FBI is now investigating. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Over the weekend, Iranians living here locally gathered at Pioneer Courthouse Square to show their support for those pushing back against the Iranian government. We spoke to one woman who moved to Portland from the 80s from Iran. She says that despite uprisings in the past, she hopes that this time the current government falls, adding that while Iranians want support, they believe it's their duty to fight for freedom on their own.
I hope that the whole world, including this government, supports the Iranian people. But most of the Iranian people have said over the years, we want to do it ourselves. We want to be the ones that free our own country. We don't want people to get involved. We want to do it. And if everyone can support us, we would love that.
President Trump, meantime, has vowed to intervene if Iran shoots or violently kills peaceful demonstrators in Iran. Over the weekend, Portland police continued to monitor activity outside the South Waterfront ICE facility. On Sunday, police say no one was arrested. On Saturday, though, 2 people were wanted for previous events unrelated to the ICE facility were arrested. One woman was arrested on probable cause for harassment related to an incident where she pushed a police officer on January 9th in South Portland. And then another woman was arrested on a warrant for unlawful use of a weapon and coercion stemming from a shooting in December 2025. And then on Friday, Portland police say that they arrested a man after he allegedly pushed an officer during a protest outside the ICE facility. Meantime, Portland Police Chief Bob Day says an officer has been reassigned as the Bureau reviews a complaint about comments he made during a recent protest. This comes after a video began circulating online, allegedly showing demonstrators outside the South Portland ICE facility questioning the officer about Renee Good, who was shot and killed by an ICE agent in Minneapolis. In part of the video, the demonstrator asks, quote, Renee Nicole Good, would you shoot her too? To which the officer replies, quote, if she drove a car on me, yes. Chief Day says the complaint is under review and the officer has been assigned to another duty in the meantime. All right, your time now is 8:38. We're headed over to Chris McGinnis for a look at your traffic.
All right, thank you, China. We pick it up with an overnight traffic alert the next couple of evenings in Marion County, specifically because of the I-5 widening project. So I want to let you know about this. Tonight, tomorrow night, and Wednesday night, the section of I-5 between exits 248 and 252 will be closed completely overnight from 10 p.m. until 5 a.m. The detour is a fairly simple, straightforward one. You'll detour to Kubler Boulevard and Commercial Street, both directions. So that in and of itself, not that complicated, but it obviously will add some time, several minutes to your overnight commute. Again, on I-5 through Marion County tonight, tomorrow night, and Wednesday night. All right, back to our freeway drive right now in downtown on the west side. We've got a crash here on I-405 southbound near the Highway 26 exit ramp, and that is backing up the drive right now across the Fremont Bridge. So we need a little extra time on that southbound I-5 commute. It's not bad on the Vancouver side of things, but once you cross the interstate bridge, you'll hit the heavier traffic. 19 minutes gets you in from Main Street to the Fremont. China.
Thank you, Chris. A brand new library is now open on Northwest Pettygrove Street in Northwest Portland. Dozens of families attended the grand opening over the weekend. The new library is more than twice the size of the library it's replacing, which was on Thurman Street a few blocks away. We spoke to one dad who visited the library with his daughter. Here was his first impression.
Oh, it's awesome. Just the structure and the fact that they used a lot of reclaimed materials and like the stuff they put together for kids. I mean, it's just, you can tell they put a lot of work into it and a lot of heart.
And inside the library is a large selection of books for kids and plenty of computers for those looking to access the internet. Keeping the New Year celebrations going for a little bit longer, a look at how the Japanese garden is keeping the festivities alive.
Hey, our team tests a ton of products. We only bring you the best, and we have a sick fitness combo for you today. I'm super excited, can you tell? All right, let's start right here. This is the Blendy Pro Plus. This is a portable cordless blender you can bring with you wherever you go, the gym, the beach, the office. And the cool thing is, once you blend, you pop the top off, you drink right out of this. It only takes 20 seconds to blend everything. This is my favorite. It's a protein shake, it's ice, and it's banana. Okay, it just finished blending. Pop the top. That's amazing. 25% off this for you today. Now to the next one. Now let's get to your workout and these stylish hats, headbands, and head wraps that absorb your sweat. It's called Gym Wrap, invented by actress Nicole Ari Parker. Their headbands use patented EvapoCool technology to wick sweat away, and they're designed to fit any head shape or hairstyle, men or women. Whether you choose the Gym Wrap 2.0, the Full Triangle, the Bandy Plus 2.0, or the Pony 2.0 with its ponytail opening and secure closure, they're lightweight, breathable, perfect for everything from yoga to pickleball to running errands. Even the Hat 2.0 uses that same performance fabric. Amazing deal for you on the Gym Wrap. 25% off. 2 different products, 2 amazing deals. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to shoptvdeals.com.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
A judge has blocked the Trump administration order that would have tightened voting requirements nationwide. Critics say the move could have disrupted vote-by-mail systems in Oregon and Washington. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz has more.
The judge ruled that President Trump overstepped his authority with this order. It would have mandated that all mail-in ballots arrive by Election Day. The order would have also required proof of U.S. citizenship to vote. Those changes could have had a significant impact here in Oregon and up in Washington. Both states sued to block the order, arguing it could disenfranchise tens of thousands of voters. The court says the Constitution gives Congress and the states, not the president, the authority to regulate federal elections. Still, President Trump pushed to end mail-in voting due to concerns over costs and election integrity.
We're going to end mail-in voting. It's a fraud. You know that we're the only country in the world, I believe, I may be wrong, but just about the only country in the world that uses them.
He's wrong. Voting by mail in Oregon, which is, by the way, done with paper ballots, is less expensive than votes that require someone to show up at a specific place at a specific time.
The judge noted that voting by non-U.S. citizens is rare and illegal, adding that states could not be threatened with the loss of federal funding by not abiding by this order, meaning that mail-in voting in Washington and Oregon will continue as it has for quite some time. In downtown Portland, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
Check this out. It was a chance to keep the New Year celebrations going a bit longer. A Portland Japanese Garden held a final day of festivities Sunday to ring in the Japanese New Year. It included family-friendly activities like a holiday scavenger hunt and cultural lion dance performances. And while they like to start the year off big, the garden holds multiple large festivals throughout the year. Your time now is 8:45. Rod Hill is up on the weather deck. How's it going up there, sir?
Not bad. There's a bit of a slight cool breeze. Outside up on the deck, brought to you by Rick's Custom Fencing and Decking. I'm looking around, I see some blue, but overall mostly cloudy or partly sunny. If you're wondering, by definition, partly sunny skies, 30% opaque cloudiness, which is kind of mostly sunny, to 70% opaque cloudiness, which is kind of what we have right now, which is mostly cloudy. So it's a pretty broad range. We have no rain in the forecast today and no rain in the forecast for the entire upcoming week. Let's start off up on the mountain. A lot of folks went skiing and boarding over the weekend to enjoy that snow that fell. Was about 30 or 40 inches, remember, that came down last week between Meadows and Timberline. You can see some blue, but also some passing clouds over the summit. Want to point out how warm it is, 39 degrees. We are getting into a temperature inversion pattern, more so tomorrow actually, but that will mean above freezing temperatures at night potentially for much of this upcoming week. And if that's the case, that's when you really start to lose snow, when it's above freezing both day and night for the 24-hour period. And look at the temperatures today. Obviously, if it hits 50 degrees at Government Camp, you melt snow. We all know that. Partly sunny skies expected, freezing level up there 9,000 feet. All right, here's a look at what's going on. This is the same cloud flow that kind of brushed us and pushed cloudiness in our skies back and forth through the weekend. The rain chance with this has moved up to the north, and the cloud flow itself is going to continue shifting north, which should allow us to get into increasing sunshine and actually have a good bit of sun in the forecast for the entire upcoming week. We're all dry, Newport to Baker City, as you can see. Here's the wider Futurecast look. And if you play these, the Futurecast movie, it's showing increasing sunshine today, a good bit of sunshine tomorrow as well. I'm going to stop this into Wednesday morning and see that band of clouds. If you identify Portland and see the I-5 emblem, notice how the clouds just hug up and down I-5 the entire day Wednesday. And Futurecast says never clears. So if we're overcast Wednesday, that would be the one day that we stay in the 40s and don't get up to 50 for a high. Chehalem tasting room camera right now, really nice. Temperature's not reporting, but we do have partly cloudy skies looking out over the vineyard. I've got temperatures elsewhere, 40 down in Salem. Cold out in Burns this morning. That's been the cold spot. 20 degrees is the temperature there. Reminder, if you folks at the coast, there is a sneaker wave threat today. You'll have partly sunny skies and temperatures up into the 50s. And Portland 7-day forecast. There's the dry weather. Most days expected to hit 50, 53 today. It is birthday time. All right, today's party starts off with Benito, who is 2 today. Happy birthday to you. Hannah's 7. Hope you have a fun birthday today, too. I love the shot out in the cornfield. Happy birthday to you. Sophia's 15 up in Astoria. Hope you have a fun day today. And celebrating 71 years young, here's Leanne. Hope you have a great day today as well. Send us your birthday wishes and photos to birthdays@kgw.com. and we will celebrate with you. Here's Chris McGinnis, the traffic guy.
Yeah, a little good news for the morning commute here. That earlier crash here on I-405 southbound. Looks like that's out of the way. Emergency crews have left the scene, and both lanes are open, so that should help kind of unleash some of this logjam across the Fremont Bridge. That said, I mean, as we look down from the top, from the upper part, you can see that southbound 405 is still running a little slow. You put that all together, and the trip from Clark County is 25 minutes from Main Street to the Fremont. Again, the end of the line has made its way across the interstate bridge. It's just that backup from that earlier crash, which hopefully will continue flushing out here over the next little bit. All right, drive times across the rest of the freeway system, not in too bad a shape. 24 minutes gets you in from Wilsonville, 25 minutes from Troutdale, and you know what? 23 from Hillsborough, not bad for this hour of a Monday morning drive. China?
Thank you, Chris. Let's talk sports here for a second. The Blazers' 5-game win streak has sadly come to an end after they lost last night to the Knicks with the final score at the Moda Center, 123-114. But there is some good news for the Blazers. Drew Holiday played its first game with the team since November 14th. He missed the past 27 games because of a calf strain. Last night he scored 8 points in 16 minutes of play time. After last night's loss, the Blazers fall 19-21 this season, putting them at 9th in the West. And there's a whole lot more basketball season coming your way. Friday Night Hoops tips off this Friday right here on KGW.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
In a wrap of our top stories this morning, later this morning at 9:30, in about 30-ish minutes, the man accused of robbing and stabbing a 77-year-old at the Portland Safeway is set to be indicted. Police say 51-year-old Christopher Woods robbed and stabbed the man on New Year's Day in the restroom of a Safeway near Southeast Powell and 122nd. Woods faces first-degree assault and robbery charges. The Oregon Health Authority is investigating 2 cases of measles in Linn County. Health officials say those 2 people started developing symptoms January 5th. They spent some time in the emergency departments at Lebanon Community Hospital and Albany General Hospital. So if you were there during those times, you may have been exposed and you should let your healthcare provider know. And a judge has blocked a Trump administration order that would have tightened voting requirements nationwide. It would have mandated that all mail-in ballots arrive by Election Day. The order would have also required proof of U.S. citizenship to vote. Oregon and Washington sued to block the order, urging that it could disenfranchise tens of thousands of voters. The court says the Constitution gives Congress and the states, not the president, the authority to regulate federal elections.
All right, your 7-day forecast. Partly cloudy to mostly cloudy, depending on where you are right now. I think generally we all become partly cloudy with increasing sun overall. We get up to 53, similar day tomorrow. Remember, Wednesday's the one day the Futurecast says we could get stuck under the clouds. If so, maybe we don't make it to 50. But other than that, the dry forecast does show 50-degree afternoons into the weekend.
Okay, Rod, we pick it up with that overnight traffic alert in Marion County. Heads up for those of you that travel through the Salem area. I-5 will be closed overnight tonight, both directions between exits 248 and 252. That's part of the I-5 widening project. The detour is a fairly simple one, Kugler Boulevard to Commercial Street. So follow the signs. Obviously, that'll add a few minutes to your commute if you travel that section of I-5 overnight. Tonight, tomorrow night, Wednesday night. Also, later this week, the Abernathy Bridge closes. This is a full closure Friday night and Saturday night, 11 to 6, as ODOT continues improvements on the bridge between Oregon City and West Lynn. Your detour for that, of course, 99E, Highway 43, and I-5. Last but not least, your drive times right now, still a little slow on I-5. 25 minutes gets you in from Main Street to the Fremont. That should resolve itself after that earlier crash near 405, and the Sunset has just cleared.
One last story to get to. A dog was ejected through a windshield after, poor buddy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, after a driver tried to run from the deputies in Washington. Pierce County Sheriff's Office says the incident earlier last week started as attempted traffic stop for expired tabs. Okay, just so you know, the dog is okay.
That's good.
The driver took off and crashed into an embankment. The man was arrested on multiple charges, including animal cruelty. A second dog was found in the car. Both dogs are okay and are with...
Get harnesses, by the way, if you carry your dog in your car.
Yes.
If you buckle yourself up,
Yes.
buckle your dog up. Get a harness, strap them in with a seatbelt. We do that. It costs $10.
Yeah,
and
that's
it
what
could
I
save your
have.
life.
I hated seeing that video. Hey, reminder that you can watch sunrise every day live here exclusively on KGW Plus starting at 7 o'clock. And just so you know, we have added another half hour of news at 12:30 and 5:30 right here on Plus, so that will be live for you. Hope you have a great Monday.